morning, boys and girls. Happy Tuesday, last day of March the 31st. Our virtual theme for this week today is what's cooking. And we're just asking that you help your grown-up, your older sibling, prepare a snack, a meal, a dessert, whatever, okay? It could be anything, okay? You can post a picture if you'd like on the class tag comments. Your grown-up can post the picture themselves if they click on the paperclip. And if you go into Google Classroom, I have an assignment where I'm asking you to just write down some directions, okay? Google Classroom. You were all emailed this weekend by Miss Larissy and myself, okay? All you have to do for hours is click on the link and log into your school email address. All the information you need is on our third grade website, okay? And you log in, and then there will be a link for you to click on. You click on that link and follow the directions, and you'll be logged on to myself and Miss Larissy's. Okay, Miss Corrette also has created one for art and for the special teachers. Miss Cavello's has a code. So I believe the codes are listed on the math page of the CAP third grade team website. Okay? Remember, I don't want you to get stressed out about it. We are getting ourselves logged on. I'm having you practice how to do certain activities because next week we're going to start doing activities like this and having a graded part of it, okay? Information about that's coming out tomorrow to your grown-up. They can check their email. But right now, Wayside School gets a little stranger. This chapter 5 is called A Story with a Disappointing Ending. So, disappointing. I try to think, what does the word disappointing mean? Can you think about a time that you were disappointed, that you really, really wanted to do something, and then you were told, no, it's not going to happen? Yeah, it happens to all of us, whether it's we were hoping to go to the park, but it's a rainy day. You were supposed to have a baseball game, but the field is all muddy, so you can't. Or you go somewhere and it's closed. You really, really want to go back to school, and you think it's going to happen next Monday, and then it's just a little disappointing. That's all, okay? But I think this is going to have a little bit more of a fun thing. Story with a disappointing ending. Huh. It's a girl with snakes. She's got really long hair. 2 snakes. Huh. Which character in Wayside School has 2 long brown pigtails that go all the way down to her waist? Not Miss Forbes. Paul's father was a security guard at a museum. The museum had a very famous painting. It was painted by Leonardo da Vinci. It was called the Mona Lisa. The sign next to the painting was a sign: "Do not touch." My coffee's ready. All day, Paul's father made sure nobody would touch the painting. At night, after the museum closed, Paul's father was alone, just him and the Mona Lisa, and the sign: "Do not touch, do not touch, do not." He was dying to touch it. The tips of his fingers tingled with desire. But this isn't a story about Paul's father. It's about Paul. Paul was a student in Mrs. Jewell's class. He sat behind Leslie. Leslie had 2 long brown pigtails that reached all the way down to her waist. They just hung there all day, right in front of Paul's face. The Mona Leslie: "Do not touch, do not touch, do not." Paul reached out, grabbed, and yanked. "Ah!" Leslie screamed. Mrs. Jewell sent Paul to the counselor's office. The counselor's office was on the 4th floor. Paul had never been there before. Like every student at Wayside School, he was afraid of the counselor. The counselor had a very scary face, with big, bushy eyebrows and a little beard on his pointed chin. Paul knocked on the door. "Come in," said the counselor. Paul entered and sat down on the couch. "What's the problem?" said the counselor. "I pulled Leslie's pigtails again," said Paul. I know it's wrong, but I just can't help myself." "Watch the pickle," said the counselor. Paul's eyes went back and forth as he stared at the swaying pickle. You are getting sleepy, said the counselor. Your eyelids are getting heavy. Paul suddenly felt very tired. He could hardly keep his eyes open. When I count to 3, said the counselor, you will fall into a deep, deep sleep. 1, 2, 3. Paul's eyes closed. He wasn't exactly asleep. He felt like he was living in a dream, but it was a very pleasant dream. He felt happy and safe. Can you hear me? Asked the counselor. Yes, said Paul. He was no longer afraid of the counselor. In fact, he liked him a lot. You will do what I say, said the counselor. I will do what you say, Paul repeated. I am going to count to 5, said the counselor, and then you will wake up and you will return to your classroom. You will take your seat behind Leslie. You will want to pull one of her pigtails, but when you reach for it, it will turn into a rattlesnake. Leslie's pigtails are rattlesnakes, said Paul. Very good, said the counselor. Now just one more thing. He rubbed his beard and smiled. When Leslie says the word pencil, her ears will turn into candy, the most delicious candy in the world, the candy of your dreams. Paul licked his lips. He could almost taste the rich chocolate and chewy caramel. And you will try to eat the candy. When Leslie says pencil, I will eat her ears, said Paul. The counselor counted to 5. Paul's eyes blinked open. You may go back to class now, said the counselor. I'm not in trouble, asked Paul. No, said the counselor. Paul shrugged. He returned to class. As he passed Leslie, she stuck out her tongue at him. He sat down behind her. What did the counselor do to you? Asked Eric Fry. Nothing, said Paul. He's a nice man. He looked at Leslie's pigtails. He had pulled the one on the left, but now he wanted to pull the one on the right. He lunged for it. It hissed at him. Its tail rattled. He screamed and fell back over in his chair. Everyone laughed. Paul, are you all right? Asked Mrs. Jules. I guess so, said Paul, getting back up. He didn't feel much like pulling Leslie's pigtails anymore. It was a short while later that Leslie's pencil point broke. Oh, great, she complained. What's the matter? Asked Jenny, who sat next to Leslie. Leslie showed her the broken pencil point. You want to borrow mine? Asked Eric Fry, who sat behind Jenny. No, I'll just go sharpen it, said Leslie. She went back to the back of the room and sharpened her pencil. She returned to her seat. She set down the pencil on her desk, but it rolled off when she sat down. Hey, where'd it go? She asked, turning around. Where'd what go? Asked Paul. There it is, said Jenny, under Paul's desk. What's under my desk? Asked Paul. I'll get it, said Eric Fry. He reached under Paul's desk, picked up the pencil, and handed it to Leslie. She thanked him, and everyone returned to work. What was disappointing about that? Remember, whenever Leslie says pencil, Paul's going to think her ears are candy. He's going to try to eat them. So you really thought that she was going to say pencil and he was going to try to eat her ears, and she didn't. That's what was disappointing about it. Okay? All right, boys and girls, I'll be back on later today. We'll do a little something science-y. Okay? And, yeah, till then. Bye.